We live now. Sorry that this thing is a little blurry today. Hate that. But I want to tell you all, thank you for joining me today for this week's edition of the Kid Klutch Sports WWE SummerSlam post show. I'm your host, Kid Klutch, and I'm coming to you live today on Monday, but I usually come to you live on Sundays or Saturdays, but I was a little tired and I was watching watching both shows the last two nights, and it was so good I had to sit back and marinate on it, give you a nice fresh show. Okay, why is it showing that? But bear with me today with this. I know this camera thing is gonna be a headache. Let me see if I can move it. Keep it right there. Next time I may have to go live on my phone, but I don't want my battery to go dead. So I'm gonna try to get as close as I can for you to see me. May have to do something to this background. Next time I'm gonna change the background so you won't have all this blurry stuff back here. Okay. But as I was saying, welcome to SummerSlam. Welcome to the SummerSlam post show, Kid Klutch Sports One. I'm your host, Kid Klutch, and I'm here to talk about SummerSlam, one of the biggest nights and events of the year in the WWE. This is one of them shows that delivers championships, shocking moments. You saw major returns. You also saw a passing of the torch. For those of you that watch highlights or watch the actual show, you know what I'm talking about. But for those of you that haven't seen it yet, you're going to find out later on in the show. We also saw champions defend their titles. We saw new champions crown. We saw legends return. And we saw future stars born on this big stage. So today we're going to talk about everything match by match. We're going to break it down. Both nights of SummerSlam, Saturday and Sunday. So don't worry if you didn't see one night or you didn't see either night. I'm going to break both down for you. And don't forget also, too, at the end of this show, I'm going to break down my top moments of both shows today. Top 5 moments. So let's get into this thing right here. Before we get into our segments about the SummerSlam matches, we're going to talk about my overall thoughts about SummerSlam. I know sometimes we do that in the middle of the show or at the end, but I want to start it off so we can keep the show flowing. This SummerSlam, it felt like a show that was focused on the future of the WWE, which I like. because it's showing a transition phase between our legends and our future legends and our up and coming stars, and showing how the WWE is in good hands and how it's okay to go with the younger wrestlers. Vince McMahon did that in the 90s. He was with the Attitude Era. And people forget the Attitude Era. It came after the era of Bret Hart, and it came the era of Bret Hart preceded the Hogan era, and basically like I guess you can call it superhero era, where you saw WWE, you saw these larger than life figures capture like all ages from kids to adults, to it was family friendly. Then it went to the Bret Hart era for like a few years after a lot of those wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and um, my man Macho Man Randy Savage, he went to WCW, and that's what sparked that youth generation. That's what you can call it. And it transitioned from that youth generation to the Attitude Era, to the Attitude Era, to like the modern era that we're living in now. But I still see some sketches of it and flashes of the Attitude Era with Triple H being the head of creative now, because he grew up in that Attitude Era. That's when he became a star in the WWE. Now he's on the other side of it as an executive. So you can see a lot of the correlations between the two. But yeah, we had established names like CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, all involved in this event. But we also saw in WWE new stars elevate to the next generation. That's what stood out the most in these two shows over the weekend. You had Omar Femi defeating Brock Lesnar in the Hell in a Cell match, receiving the ultimate respect from one of his biggest attractions and biggest opponents. You had Baron Corbin returning and winning the championship gold. And I don't want to spoil any more of that, but I got to keep, I put that out there so I can keep you watching me for today. So I'm going to roll through that. But we're going to break down the matches now. Match number one, we had Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship match. That match kicked off SummerSlam with Liv Morgan defeating Io Sky, which was a shocker because Io Sky, you can make an argument that she's the best wrestler in the world right now. What, best female, best whatever way. She's no joke. So that came as a shocker. But I thought the WWE made a smart decision by opening up the show with that match, because both of these women had something to prove. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm watching Sports Center and doing the show at the same time. They had some big news in basketball and MLB. But back to that. And that Kiana Martin, she's sexy. But back to that. Liv Morgan has been on a journey to prove that she belongs as one of the top WWE stars. You even had people complaining, saying, why hasn't Liv Morgan been getting booked for these top matches and getting a lot of championship contender matches? And basically, Triple H kind of explained that in the press conference Saturday night after the first night of the show. And he's right. He's saying WWE has never been built on, oh, this person has been here this many years, so it's their turn to get this and that. He's like, no, you got to earn it. You got to show that you're championship contender material. And of course, people get mad at that, saying it's her turn. But what other way to prove that than to go against Io Sky, the reigning champion, one of the most athletic and skilled wrestlers of all time? And Io Sky becomes a favorable opponent because she's already established herself as one of the best in the world. And like I said earlier, probably arguably the best in the world, depending on who you talk to. But Liv Morgan showed finally why she belongs in the contenders as a championship contender. And she made that case by winning the championship. So she is the standard now, currently. I don't know how long that's going to last, but she is. But this match was a great contrast of styles. Liv brought that. Io brought that athleticism, speed, creativity that made her one of the most dangerous competitors in WWE. But Liv brings the toughness, the determination, the confidence, which ultimately helped her win the championship on Saturday night. But the biggest story coming out of this match is Liv continuing to silence her doubters and showing why she belongs as champion now, not just contender now, as champion. But her focus now is going to shift to defending the title on the next pay-per-view. But we'll get to that on another time. But a lot of people question whether Liv can carry a championship and represent the division at the highest level. Okay, she has it now, but we'll see what happens next now. But match after match, she continues to show that she belongs at the top of the women's division in WWE. Liv has become one of those wrestlers who has to fight for every opportunity that she received, and she has dealt with criticism, doubts, people questioning whether she could become the face of the division. But she shut those doubters down. She silenced them. So I want to say right now, right here and right now, congratulations, Liv Morgan. You showed that you belong on top of the WWE Women's Division. I wish you continued success. I'm interested to see who her opponent is going to be. It might be former champ that she defeated, Io Sky. But I have a feeling it may be a triple threat match or a fatal four-way match. You just never know. Especially how what Triple H is doing. I like the way he's writing these storylines and how he's building up momentum around these female wrestlers. He's expanding the division. He's promoting and giving them good bookings, pushing them out there. He's making them earn it too. And he's bringing back some old faces and new faces. He's mixing them up. I like what he's doing. It's giving Attitude Era feel with the women's division. And I love it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what challenges are. That's all I'm going to say with that. Moving on to the next match. Match number 2. LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, Royce versus Royce Keys and the Bloodline. And that's the 6-man tag team match. Sorry, I got tongue twisted. Drink my water. Been hot as hell out here. Oh, man. I'm back now. But a 6-man tag team match, which resulted in LA Knight Solo Sikoa and Royce Keys defeating the Bloodline by a pinfall match. I really like the Bloodline storyline because it continues SummerSlam with another chapter in WWE's biggest storylines. Why my, oh my. Whew. I can't wait to see what happens on SmackDown this week after that. But this match represented a battle between different generations. You had Jimmy Uso, who built the Bloodline into one of the biggest factions in WWE history. But you also had Jacob Fatu, who represented the future of that family legacy. And you had Solo Sikoa continue to establish himself as a major player in the WWE and a wrestler, skilled wrestler. LA Knight also continued to show why fans are staying behind him because he's something magical to watch, man. I'm telling you. His connection with the WWE fan base is undeniable. And every time he gets a major moment, the crowd reaction proves his popularity because they just start erupting, going crazy. I love it. Sorry about that. I love wrestling. I just get so excited talking about it and watching it. But you gotta be glad I did it today on Monday instead of Saturday night and Sunday night because I wouldn't have had no energy to talk about it in this animated way like I usually do. I was tired. I'm excited now. I'm full of energy. You're gonna get that full twist of energy, that full vibe, good energy. I'm glad. It's only the 5th episode, but it feels like it's the very first episode. And it also feels like the 100th episode. It's my passion, excitement for this is so out of this world. Love wrestling. Will always love it. But back to this. But the biggest thing that I learned about this match wasn't just about the result. It was about the positioning of these wrestlers moving forward. The Bloodline story has always been about power, respect, and legacy. And Jacob Fatu proved that because he looked like a star. Solo Sikoa continues to evolve. And LA Knight continues to prove that he belongs in these major matches because he turns these major matches into magical moments in the WWE that we'll talk about for years upon years upon years. Maybe we'll tell our grandchildren about it. But I think this storyline still has a lot of chapters left in it. I think the Bloodline situation continues to be one of the most interesting stories in the WWE today, and this loss can create more tension moving forward between the Bloodline and between LA Knight and Solo Sikoa, Royce Keys. I want you to stay tuned for the rest of this show and stay tuned for the WWE the next few months because it's going to get crazy. SummerSlam set the stage for the second half of the WWE season. See, before that, we was coming out of the WrestleMania stage and the build-up from the WrestleMania. Now we going further and further along from post-WrestleMania to the second half of this WWE season. And it's been a great one. I'm going to tell you that now. Continue to watch it. And moving on to the next match. Gunther versus Nick Alice. This one was crazy, man. The build up for this one was something I thought it was going to continue throughout multiple pay per views after this, but I was surprised to see what happened. That I wasn't surprised at the result, but I was surprised at the post match of this. Gunther defeated Nick Alice by submission. And the thing that's so funny, I found out this a few weeks ago that Gunther is actually married to, not Gunther, Nick Alice is actually married to Mickie James, WWE legend. And she came to the match after Nick Alice lost the match with their son. But, and I think that was a great moment what happened. I was like, what is Mickie James getting at? I was like, oh, I forgot. They're married. But Gunther faced Nick Alice in a physical singles match at SummerSlam. This was a major opportunity for Nick Alice because Alice, I can't say his name right, his last name right, but he had one of the toughest opponents possibly standing across the ring from him. Gunther has built his reputation as a dominant wrestler, and who I call now, he could be the new legend killer. That's what they used to call Randy Orton early on in his career, and they started calling him that recently again. But I think Gunther is the next legend killer because he ends legends' career. It's nothing. He does it for sport, it seems like. And he doesn't need flashy moves and complicated strategies. He just breaks opponents down. He breaks them down. It's like he takes their soul out of them. He breaks our opponent. He makes opponents fear him. That dude is a dangerous dude. I don't want to fight him ever. He's no joke. But he continues to remind everybody why he's one of the most dangerous wrestlers in WWE. But Nick Alice, he gave him a run for his money in that match. But this was Gunther. This was a type of match that Gunther liked. When you step into the ring with Gunther, you're not just trying to beat him, you're trying to survive the match with him because he'll take your soul from you. That's what makes him different. But what's going to happen, what I'm going to talk about later on, is what happened on the second night with Gunther, which was interesting, and Nick Alice. It was kind of weird. I didn't expect it to happen. But this was a crazy night of SummerSlam. Not because things were too outrageous like WrestleMania and Backlash and Night of Champions. It was just the vibe was kind of good and positive. Wasn't the results of the matches and stuff is what made it crazy, like as far as the post match after. It wasn't really like in between for the most part. But the vibe was nice, smooth. Moving on to the fourth match of the night. Fatal Influence versus the Bella Twins and Paige. This was a 6-woman tag team match. And this was a match that I was really excited about because for the first time in a long time, you had the Bella Twins together wrestling in the WWE. They're back. And it's like they never left. I love the Bella Twins. They're trailblazers in the WWE because the reason why the women's division is respected the way it is because of the Bella Twins. They broke down these barriers and they were winning championships and kicking ass. But unfortunately, the Fatal Influence defeated the Bella Twins and Paige by pinfall. But the SummerSlam Night 1 continued with a battle between the future WWE's women's division and 3 legends who helped pave the way for it. The return of the Bella Twins and Paige brought a nostalgic type of vibe in this match. These women were major parts of the WWE's women's evolution, like I said a few minutes ago. It helped change how fans view women's wrestling. But the match was also about fatal influence, proving that they belong to on the stage. JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Laney Reed had the opportunity to make a statement against the three most recognizable female wrestlers in WWE history. And I got to give it to them. They did it too. And this match represents something that the WWE has really done well over the years, respecting the past while also building the future up and transitioning it in the right direction. And that's been the theme of this overall show. But I gotta also say that Bella Twins and Paige deserve credit for everything that they have contributed to the WWE. They help create opportunities for the next generation of female wrestlers. Yeah, it just wasn't their night because SummerSlam wasn't for the past this year. It was about fatal influence making their impact and showing that they belong in the top echelon of female wrestlers in WWE in the future. This win over the Bella Twins and Paige gave them momentum and credibility around the WWE, and I think they're showing that they're a force to be reckoned with in the future. It was a short match, but it served the purpose. And I think you better be looking out for them in future pay-per-views, especially the next one coming up. And I think they turned themselves from the hunters to the hunted. I think a lot of the women are watching them now. Moving on to the next match, the fifth match, which is CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship, which resulted in CM Punk retaining his championship against Cody Rhodes. The WWE Undisputed Championship was on the line as CM Punk, the current WWE Undisputed Champion, defending his championship against Cody Rhodes in one of the most biggest SummerSlam matches of all time. This was the type of match that felt like a main event anywhere on the card. I personally thought it should have been the main event. I think championship matches should always be the main events and pay-per-views. It's just my personal opinion. But you had CM Punk, a veteran who has built his career on proving everybody wrong and becoming one of the most influential wrestlers of his generation. You had Cody Rhodes, a superstar who fought his way back to the WWE and became one of the faces of the company. And he is also a second generation wrestler. His father is WWE Hall of Famer Dusty Rhodes, late great Dusty Rhodes, and his brother is Goldust, legendary wrestler too, WWE. But this match was more than a championship match. It was a match that represented the WWE at the highest level. This match showed the experience of both of these wrestlers, these legendary wrestlers. These guys that been the face of the wrestling. I can't just say WWE because they fought in AEW and they together, and they were the faces of that, and they had the faces of WWE. But both men had moments where it looked like they could walk out as champion. This was a toss-up match. But at the end of the day, CM Punk found a way to retain his title and remain the WWE Undisputed Champion for another night or another pay-per-view. But this match felt like both of the wrestlers understood the importance of the moment. One thing about CM Punk is he knows how to perform when the pressure is at its highest. And Cody Rhodes continues to prove why he's one of the biggest WWE stars of today. But Cody Rhodes losing here doesn't hurt him. Sometimes a loss in a major victory match can actually create the next chapter of a superstar story. But CM Punk, this was just a statement. He's still one of the most important figures in WWE. He continues to prove that he can compete with anybody at the highest level. CM Punk remains undisputed champion while Cody Rhodes must decide what his next move is after another championship opportunity. Moving on to the next match, which is the main event. Femi versus Brock Lesnar. This is a rivalry I've been talking about since WrestleMania. I think it's crazy. I think it's gonna continue to be. Well, I thought it was gonna continue to be something special, but what surprised me was what happened after that match. To me, you basically got two guys that are carbon copies of each other. Brock Lesnar and Femi. Femi, to me, he reminds me like a young version of Brock Lesnar. He's built like him. He wrestles like him. He fights like him. His skills are similar. And his mentality is similar too. But Femi defeated Brock Lesnar again by pinfall. The final match of the night one was the match that everyone was talking about. Femi stepped out of this match as one of the most dominant forces of all time. For Brock Lesnar, this was a major test it was for Brock Lesnar. But for Femi, it was a major test for him. Brock Lesnar has defended his title and defeated some of the biggest names in WWE history. He has one of the most dominant world championship runs of all time. And as Femi has done, he's went up against the best of the best. But Femi has proved that he belongs in the conversation with the best wrestlers in the league today. This was a physical, intense, and actually what you can call a no-holds bar type of match. And that wasn't a no-holds bar match. It was a Hell in a Cell match, but it had that feeling of no-holds bar. Like that match could have pushed it to the limit if they wanted to get it there. But Femi showed his power, his confidence, his ability to handle the biggest pressure moment of his career. And then came the moment after the match that made this unforgettable. After Femi defeated Brock Lesnar, these two shook hands. That's the part that shocked me. As Brock Lesnar told him to come to the ring and shake his hand, I saw Paul Heyman coming toward the ring too. He was near the ropes. I just knew that Brock Lesnar was setting up Femi, but he didn't set him up at all. He just shook his hand and he told him, I represent the past, you represent the future. So this kind of represented a passing of the torch moment in this match, which I thought it was pretty good, but it was shocking. But I think this was personally Omafemi's biggest match and moment of his career. He already beat Brock Lesnar before, but the way he did it and the respect that he was giving Brock Lesnar is what makes this different. I never thought I'd see that. I thought we was gonna see some more of this rivalry paying out, but I guess the rivalry is over now. And that's the end of the night one commentary for me. Now we switching over to night two of SummerSlam. But night one delivered everything that you can expect from SummerSlam. Like I said in the opening, we had championship matches, legends returning, major storylines continue in the biggest moment of the night with Brock Lesnar defeating Omar Femi and Brock Lesnar receiving giving him the ultimate respect. I didn't understand why they put that as the main event, but after that match, I kind of understood. They shook hands. He passed the torch. But as shocking and as great as night one was at SummerSlam, night two was even bigger and better. He had more championships on the line, more surprises, and another major main event in the waiting. We had Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor versus Gunther versus Sami Zayn, which is what I was talking about earlier with Gunther and Nick Aldis. We had Baron Corbin return to face Trick Williams for the United States Championship. And we had a women's championship ladder match too. Then we had Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio, Chad Gable versus Penta, and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Championship. That was a good one too. We're gonna start with match number one of Sunday night. Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor versus Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens and Gunther, that was a surprise. They weren't supposed to be in that match. That was supposed to be Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. But Nick Aldis made a last minute decision and added Gunther, which I was surprised because Nick Aldis and Gunther faced each other in the match on Saturday night. Them two, like, they didn't like each other. So when he made that move, I guess to squash the beef that they had, he put them in the match in the last minute. So it changed quickly from being a one-on-one match for the number one contender for the undisputed WWE Championship to a fatal four-way match. And Kevin Owens ended up defeating Finn Balor, Gunther, and Sami Zayn by pinfall. This was weird too, but not out of the ordinary. We already know that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have been best friends for a long time. They started off the match by hugging each other, and then they just started attacking each other. So that set the tone for the match. Kevin Owens was taking no prisoners. He was going at everybody, throwing guys over the top rope, going outside the ring, fighting them. Kevin Owens wanted it, you can tell. But what also made this significant too is that you have four former champions and major stars competing for a chance to become the next challenger for the undisputed WWE Championship too. So these were already established guys too that have a resume that's long, had a lot of history involved. Let's just say that. But even though that they're best friends, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, it also had kind of like a long rivalry in WWE too, which is kind of crazy. You think about that. So I guess you got to call them frenemies. But Kevin Owens defeated all these guys by pinfall. This match was very fast paced, and it showed how all four of these men are dangerous, even when the stakes are high. The stakes are high. They show like they was like, I don't know, it's like a lion looking for a steak. Caged lion is hungry. That's how I look with those four guys. Like you didn't want to be in between them. Kevin Owens winning this match is a big moment because it reminds fans exactly who he is. He had been out for a while too. He made a return to WWE. And that's what you saw a lot of too. You saw wrestlers returning to WWE and winning matches, big matches. But I'm glad that Triple H put him back into the championship contender matches that quick. It's keeping fans like me interested in watching these next few shows and pay-per-views because they're not giving you a chance to get bored with the matches. They're building it up so it won't be stale. But the interesting part about this thing with Kevin Owens is he has a history with so many of the top stars in WWE. I feel bad for whoever will have the United States Championship when Kevin Owens faces them because I don't know if they're gonna have him face the champ next pay per view or they're gonna do it on SmackDown or they're gonna let it drag out a little bit. But if it's Baron Corbin or Trick Williams, he somehow wins it back, they're gonna have a problem with Kevin Owens. He's dangerous. Segue into this next match, which has to do with this contenders match because this is for the championship that these guys were trying to fight for. So we got Baron Corbin versus Trick Williams for the WWE United States Championship. Of course, Trick Williams came out with Lil Yachty performing, being his hype man. However, that wasn't enough to keep Baron Corbin for winning the match against him and becoming a new champion. Yeah, I said it. Baron Corbin is the new WWE United States champion after returning from being gone from WWE for years. But that wasn't it. That wasn't the only surprise of the night. SummerSlam Night 2 continued with the United States Championship match being one of the biggest surprises with a veteran versus a rising star. But Baron Corbin showed why experience matters. But I'm gonna say it like this: even though Trick Williams lost his match, this doesn't erase the momentum that he had going as a rising star in WWE. It just gives him a wake up call. gives them some experience under his belt on how to fight veterans going forward if you want to get start fighting contending for world championships. This is a good test for him. But I would like to see these two fight again in a rematch, but I don't know how it's going to go. Especially with the number one contenders match ending. How are they going to work this out? Will it be a fatal four-way or triple threat, or I don't know. You got to tune in to see. Stay tuned. Moving on to the next match. Chelsea Green versus Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill versus Lash Legend versus Tiffany Stratton. A 5-way ladder match for the interim WWE Women's Championship. I'm going to tell you this. SummerSlam delivered chaos for a 5-woman ladder match featuring some of the WWE's biggest names. Anytime you had a ladder match, you know you're going to get unpredictable moments, dangerous spots, and competitors putting everything on the line. They all brought something different to this match. Charlotte Flair brought her championship experience. Jade Cargill brought her power and athleticism. But Tiffany Stratton continued to prove why she's one of the most brightest young stars in WWE today. And Lash Legend brought her physical style. She's showing you her strength, agility, and toughness. And Chelsea Green had the opportunity to show why she can compete with the best in the WWE. This was a crazy match. They was going back and forth, throwing each other off the ring, pulling each other off ladders, pushing each other off the top turnbuckles. But when the dust settled, Chelsea Green climbed the ladder and she captured the victory and became the interim WWE Women's Champion. This proved to be a big opportunity for her to get a name out there more. For a while, Chelsea Green has been one of the most entertaining personalities in the WWE. She knows how to get the reactions from the fans. She understands how to show her character and connect with the fans. And she brings something different into the women's division. But winning this match also shows that she has some major accomplishments now. This is the type of match that can take you up a level. It's the type of match that can take you up from an Intercontinental Championship, Tag Team Championship, United States Championship type of level to a World Championship level. And I think she's proven that. And they're saying interim WWE champion. So I don't know how, if they're going to keep her holding the title temporarily or this could become a permanent thing. I don't know. I've never heard of this going on in WWE. I've heard about it in AEW. They did it. I can't really remember how that turned out. Putting an interim tag on the championship. I don't know. But we'll see what happens with that. But even though that she moves forward as champion, she better watch out for the other competitors that are climbing up her heels and ready take that championship from her. So we'll see what happens. Moving on to the next match, Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio. I think this match kind of took SummerSlam to a different direction because Danhausen pulled out the human money on a pole. That's really what they call the match, human monies on the pole match. But what happened after this was crazy. I think this match was just designed to entertain you. It wasn't any type of skill in it. It was just pure entertainment, comedy, and it continued the rivalry. But I don't know what's going to happen on Judgment Day after this match. This was kind of a weird match. With Danhausen pulled out $100,000 worth of bills, and some of them had his face on it. He also pulled out $1 trillion bill. I never heard of that. It was an unorthodox match, but I think it was a good match if you're trying to get new fans and younger fans to get excited to gain more viewership. But I'm gonna say like it wasn't a serious match at all. It was funny. It got the crowd going. I'd say that. But not every match has to be a serious match. It can be entertainment. It could be for shock value. I think people forget the WWE stands for World Wrestling Entertainment. So they're primarily trying to entertain you, even though it's about wrestling. It's not always about skill. And Danhausen knows how to entertain the fans. He brought out the mini housings too. They was passing out the money to fans in the crowd. This match served its purpose. And it gave the audience a different type of moment and allowed personality and to evolve and to shine. That's why I like Danhausen. He's a different type of guy. Moving on to the next match with Chad Gable versus Pena for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This was a match that wrestling fans could appreciate because both competitors are known for their in-ring ability. Peter brought his international style, creativity, and high energy offense, while Chad Gable brought his technical wrestling background, intensity, and ability to break opponents down by any means. This match was a showcase for two different approaches to the wrestling. Pena wants to create openings with speed and unpredictability, while Chad Gable wanted to slow down the match and control the pace. But at the end of this match, Chad Gable was able to force Pena into submission and win the Intercontinental Championship. But this was a career-changing moment for Chad Gable. He's been one of the most underrated wrestlers in WWE for years, so I was glad that he finally got his moment. His talent has always been there, but his technical ability has always been there too. But here's the question has always been for him is, will he ever get a major opportunity with WWE? And I guess this answered his question and our question. Him winning this match is going to likely give him an opportunity at a world championship one day. Because it's kind of giving him the legitimacy that we all hope for him to get. And fun fact about the Intercontinental Championship, that title has a long history of elevating WWE's greatest wrestlers. This is the type of moment that can change how fans can view you too. But the good thing with this is it proves that he's not just a great wrestler, he's a champion now, and he deserves it. But I kind of felt bad for Pena because it looks like he has to regain momentum after losing this title. But it could be a rematch. We'll see what happens with it. I don't know when he's going to invoke this rematch clause or what, but we know it's coming. Unlike the United States Championship match, because that contention and that title switching hands, it created a lot of confusion. But this right here is, these two, we can probably spur into a rivalry for at least one or two pay-per-views. Moving on to the next match, the main event. This was legendary right here. This was a main event that was years of coming. We knew it was coming, but we didn't know when. Roman Reigns defended his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins. This wasn't just a championship match. This was about history. These two men were once brothers in the Shield. They came up together in the WWE. They were mentored by Triple H, handpicked by him. I remember that. I remember when it was the Shield became like these type of I guess you can call them vigilantes. They would just disrupt the whole WWE. They would interfere in some of the top matches, and they would start attacking some of the top wrestlers. Before the matches, after the matches, during the matches, they didn't care. They was putting everybody on notice that they were coming. Almost a decade and a half later, it's still on top, showing you that they're here and they're forced to be reckoned with. But these guys, they're gonna forever be linked together because they helped each other change the WWE together by being in that faction, the Shield. They reached the top together of the WWE, but their careers took different paths. Roman Reigns became one of the most dominant figures in WWE history, while Seth Rollins became one of the most successful and unpredictable performers of his generation. When these two stepped into the ring, the championship was important, but the history between these men made this match even more special. Because both of these men had the opportunity to show why they're considered two of the WWE's greatest modern day stars. I don't think I'm apologize for calling them stars. I don't think stars does them justice. I think superstars. Roman Reigns showed his power, his experience, and ability to perform when the stakes are highest, while Seth Rollins showed his heart, athleticism, and determination. But in the end of the match, in the end of the night, Roman Reigns found a way to get the victory to retain his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This was a perfect main event to end SummerSlam. I'm gonna just say it like that. I'm glad they did that, ended it with a championship match. And not just a championship match, the championship, World Heavyweight Championship. You had two guys who understood what it means to be WWE superstars, and I'm proud of them. Roman Reigns has built one of the greatest legacies in modern WWE history, whether fans love him or hate him. You can't deny his impact. Seth Rollins has created an incredible career. He has been a world champion, main eventer, and one of the most reliable performers in the WWE. The story of this match was simple. Who was better between the two Shield brothers? And tonight, Roman Reigns proved that he's still the best. He belongs at the top of the food chain in WWE. It's gonna be a while before anybody knocks him off top of the food chain, if ever. He's the head of the table. He's the tribal chief for a reason. But it wasn't just about a WWE Championship defense. This was about another chapter in WWE's greatest rivalries. I think this match is going to continue to take these guys in the paths that they were destined to go on. But I don't know if it's going to keep them on a collision course anymore. I think it's going to take them back in different directions. But I think that match showed that they have two different ways of doing it, but they both got to the top in their own way. And I wish Dean Ambrose was still on WWE, so these guys can fight against him too. He was a member of the Shield too. I think he's on AEW now. The last time I saw, he's doing good. But it was no other way to end this pay-per-view but Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, two of the greatest wrestlers in WWE today, their generation, handpicked by Triple H. I know he's proud of it. But moving on to the final segment of this show, my top 5 moments of SummerSlam. Don't tell anybody. It's also my favorite segment of the night too. But whether it was a championship victory, a shocking return, a major storyline development, or a moment that can change the WWE history, these were the moments that had fans talking, had fans energized. But my top 5 moments of the night, of both nights of SummerSlam, was number 5, Liv Morgan. You put that in there, the chat section. Liv Morgan. That's number 5. Liv Morgan defeats Io Sky to become the WWE Women's World Champion. It's number 5. This was a major moment for Liv because Io Sky is one of the most talented performers in WWE, which I call accept. Depending on who you talk to, she could be the best wrestler in the world right now. But I'll let y'all debate that. And I can run it up. I'll run it back and repeat what I said earlier. Liv Morgan spent years proving people wrong and showing that she belongs at the top of the WWE Women's Division. This victory showed that Liv Morgan is not just someone chasing championships anymore. She's someone defending them now on the biggest stage. But the question I have for now is how long can Liv continue this run and to hold this championship? There's so many challenges out there that's hungry for a championship and then knocking at the door and they climb up the hills. But we'll see what happens with that. Moving on to number 4. Triple H restores Nick Aldis as WWE GM, as SmackDown GM. Sorry about that. And Aldis changes the WWE Championship picture too on the second night after that happens. And that's what shocked me. And I think it was a big moment because he played a key role in both nights with the same wrestler also. So we got number 4. Okay, number 3. Baron Corbin returns to WWE and defeats Trick Williams for the United States Championship. Let's see how we're going to do that. Three. Okay, let's get back to that. After being away from WWE, Baron Corbin came back and immediately made his impact by defeating Trick Williams for the WWE United States Championship. This was one of my shockers for the weekend. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect for Baron Corbin to even be there, fighting him. And I sure didn't expect him to win the championship after being gone for years. But this was a statement match. And a statement move also by Baron Corbin. He's been a villain, a champion, a veteran, and someone who faced criticism throughout his career. But SummerSlam showed that he still has something in the tank and he still has something to prove. And the WWE having him win the championship explains that they still have confidence in him and still believe that he has something big for the WWE. But like I said earlier too, Trick Williams' loss does not stop his momentum. It's just giving him more experience and preparing him for the challenges that he'll face in the next few years and the next few months also too against other challengers. He's still one of the youngest stars in WWE and rising stars and most interesting stars that I think is going to make a big impact for the years to come. But this was Baron Corbin's night. That's good. Moving on to number 2. Roman Reigns defeats Seth Rollins to retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. This was something serious right here. Get that in there. Yeah, this was something serious right here because this was more than a championship match. This was about history. like I said earlier, the two former Shield brothers that came up into the WWE together, disrupting the league, being handpicked by Triple H and trained by him. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins have had two different journeys, but both have become two of the WWE's biggest stars of their generation. And it was obvious that they was going to end up facing each other in the pay-per-view one day because they was heading to a collision course. It's the match that fans wanted to see for years. And Roman's victory proved why he continues to be one of the most dominant performers in the WWE. And in my opinion, I think the best wrestler in the WWE by far right now. The face of the WWE. You got other faces of the WWE too, but it's Roman Reigns is the big dog, the tribal chief, the head of the table. And I don't think there's anybody gonna stop him for a long time. In this championship match, it embarked on another chapter of WWE's greatest rivalries and WWE's two greatest superstars. I'm interested to see what happens next with them. But this is not my number one match. This is my number one match. The moment of the SummerSlam weekend. Omar Femi defeats Brock Lesnar in the Hell in a Cell match and receives the ultimate respect from Brock Lesnar. This was surprising, but it might have been the moment that we needed. It might have been the moment that both wrestlers needed too. Because Omar Femi defeating Brock Lesnar in the Hell in a Cell match possibly shaped the trajectory of his career going forward. It's catapulting him into the future as the next Brock Lesnar. That's what I personally think. That's like I said earlier in this show. These guys are carbon copies of each other. I've been saying it for the last few pay-per-views since WrestleMania. I like what the WWE is doing with Omar Femi and how they building him up. And I see the vision they are building him up to be like the next Brock Lesnar. Who's to say they could be Brock Lesnar 2.0? We'll see what happens with that. I thought the rivalry was going to stretch out a little longer, but it's kind of sad because it looked like that's the end of the rivalry. The passing of the torch. But if it is the end of the rivalry and officially the end of Brock Lesnar's career, because we thought it was the end of his career a few months ago, but he unretired, came back. So after Omar Femi beat him before, if it is, it's going to be the end to a great 2-decade career of dominance in the WWE by Brock Lesnar. He's defeated some of the biggest names in wrestling history. For Omar Femi, stepping inside the Hell in a Cell match with him is already a career-defining moment that can elevate him into another level. He could be on the trajectory of embarking in the championship contender match. And I'm not talking about regular United States championships and intercontinental championships. I'm talking about possibly world championships. Let's see. I'm interested to see who they're going to put as his next opponent and see how tough the challenge is going to be for him. But these guys shaking hands and Brock telling him, "You are the future, I'm the past," was something I think it defined the whole weekend of SummerSlam. It's like I said, I thought that Brock Lesnar was setting up Omar Femi, as he told him come back in the ring when he was leaving. And then I saw Paul Heyman standing near the ropes. So I was like, okay, oh no. He's gonna try to act like he's shaking his hand and he's gonna knock him out. But no, he just showed him respect. He shook his hand. And it was something I never thought I was gonna see. He earned Brock Lesnar's respect. And now the question going forward is how far can Omafemi go? Because after WrestleMania, not WrestleMania, SummerSlam, I think this proved to show that the future is bright and Omafemi is coming. I keep saying he's coming, but could this be the moment that he arrived as a top contender in WWE? All I'm gonna say with that is stay tuned. But we saw established superstars continue to deliver, and we saw the next generation step up. I think the WWE is in good hands with each and every one of these wrestlers. Um, I'm glad that the WWE isn't just focused on the past; they're focused on the future. I think the future is bright with these bright stars, these bright and young stars. Thank you for watching another episode of Klutch Sports WWE post match show. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, our Instagram channel, Klutch Sports, TikTok channel, Klutch Sports. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you in the next pay-per-view.